slipped through the door after a night of cheating, thinking I had gotten away with it. But the house was too quiet, too clean, and on the fridge, a Polaroid of my lover's face was taped beneath a note that read, "Hope he can pay your bills." My stomach dropped as I stumbled toward the bathroom, and what my husband had left floating in the tub made me collapse. Hey everyone, I never imagined I'd be sharing something like this, but I need to unburden myself. I'm a 38-year-old woman from Chicago, married to my husband, Mark, for 15 years. Our marriage has seen its highs and lows, but I always believed we had a strong foundation. That belief shattered recently. For the past few months, I've been working late shifts at a downtown bar. The hours are grueling, but the tips help with our expenses. Mark works a standard 9 to 5 job in finance, so our schedules often clash. This misalignment has created a distance between us. We barely see each other, and when we do, it's mostly in passing. A few weeks ago, a new patron named Alex started frequenting the bar. He's a 32-year-old musician who performs gigs around the city. There's a certain magnetism about him, and we quickly struck up conversations. Initially, it was harmless banter, but as nights passed, our talks grew more intimate. I found myself anticipating his visits, relishing the attention he showered on me. One particular night, after my shift ended around 2 a.m., Alex offered to walk me to my car. It was raining, and he had an umbrella, so I accepted. When we reached my vehicle, he leaned in and kissed me. I should have resisted, but I didn't. One thing led to another, and we ended up in the back seat. I don't know what came over me. It felt like I was someone else entirely. Afterward, guilt consumed me. I drove home, hoping to slip into bed unnoticed. When I entered our apartment, an unsettling silence greeted me. The living room was unusually tidy. Mark isn't typically meticulous about cleanliness. On the fridge, a Polaroid picture of Alex's face was taped beneath a note that read, "Hope he can pay your bills." My heart sank. I rushed to the bathroom, and what I saw made me collapse. The bathtub was filled with water, and floating in it were all the gifts and mementos Mark had given me over the years, our wedding photos, love letters, everything. It was as if he was washing away our entire history. I don't know how he found out. Maybe someone saw me with Alex and told him, or perhaps he had his suspicions and followed me. Regardless, I've destroyed the trust we had. I don't know if there's any coming back from this. I just sat there on the cold bathroom floor for I don't even know how long. Maybe 20 minutes. Maybe 2 hours. I couldn't breathe properly. I kept staring at that tub like if I looked away, everything would come crashing down even harder. The water was still, but the stuff inside, our life together, the pieces of it just floating like they didn't matter anymore. And in that moment, I felt like I didn't either. I got up eventually. My knees were shaking. I walked out and tried calling Mark. Straight to voicemail. I texted. Nothing. I didn't know where he was, but a part of me was afraid to find out. And then I noticed something else. His closet was empty. His laptop was gone. Toothbrush, razor, socks, the weird flannel shirt he always wore on Sundays, gone. He'd packed and left. I panicked. I called his sister, pretending like I had no idea what was happening. She answered with a voice that was colder than usual. "You should probably give him space," she said. "You should have thought about what you were doing." That hit me. So he told her. Probably told a lot of people. Now the shame was kicking in hard. Not just guilt. Shame. The kind that makes you want to crawl out of your own skin. I thought I had gotten away with it. Thought I could slip through the door after my little secret, go to bed like nothing happened, keep the lie going. But Mark, he was 3 steps ahead. 2 days passed. I stayed home from work, ignored everyone. Alex texted me, asking why I hadn't replied. I didn't know what to say. I just stared at the screen. How do you explain to someone that your life blew up because of one dumb decision, and that seeing their face taped to your fridge like a scarlet letter ripped open everything you were trying to avoid? Then the email came. Mark had sent it. No subject line. Just a message, "You broke more than your vows. I hope you understand that. I won't be coming back, but you'll hear from my lawyer soon." That's when it hit me. He wasn't just hurt. He was ending everything. Quietly. Coldly. No big screaming match. Just cutting me out like a tumor. And I knew him. When Mark shuts down, that's it. No second chances. No long talks. No emotional speeches. Just a clean cut. I was spiraling. I tried to call him again. Nothing. A week went by. I finally went back to work. I didn't tell anyone what happened, but I could feel people looking at me different. I don't know if Mark had come by the bar or if someone had followed me that night, but it felt like people knew. Then something strange happened. One of the regulars, Rita, mid-50s, drinks cranberry vodka, never causes trouble, left me a folded napkin with a note on it. You don't know what you've gotten into. I stared at it for a long time. Tried asking her what she meant when she came back the next night, but she pretended like it never happened. Just smiled, tipped generously, and left. I thought maybe she was talking about Alex, but I wasn't sure. I brushed it off as some cryptic bar nonsense. Then 2 nights later, someone broke into my car. They didn't steal anything, just slashed the back seat where it happened with Alex. Same car. Same night. They left a note stuck to the driver's seat with a pocket knife through it. The note just said, "He's not who you think." That's when the paranoia started. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I kept thinking, who's watching me? Was this about Mark? Was it Alex? Was someone following me that night and I never noticed? I asked Alex if he knew anything. He got quiet. Real quiet. Then he said, "I think we should cool it." Cool it? After everything? I should have been the one saying that. But there was fear in his voice, like he was scared now. He hung up fast. That night, I pulled up his name online again. Dug deeper this time. Searched through forums, local gig posters, old social media tags. And that's when I found it. A post on a neighborhood forum from about 6 months ago. A woman talking about a guy who fit Alex's description perfectly. Musician. Same tattoos. Same eyes. She said she let him stay with her a few nights after meeting him at a bar. He'd said all the right things. Charmed her. Slept with her. Then one morning she woke up and he was gone. So were her credit cards. Her grandmother's necklace. Her savings. She never found him. Cops said there wasn't enough to pursue it. I sat there staring at the screen. My hands were shaking. I scrolled through the replies. A few more women came forward. Different parts of the city. Same pattern. That's when I remembered the note from Rita. You don't know what you've gotten into. She wasn't talking about Mark. She was warning me about Alex. So now here I am. Husband gone. Life in pieces. And the man I thought was just a stupid mistake? He might be a con artist. Or worse. The worst part? I still don't know who's watching me. The fridge Polaroid, the slash in the car seat, the note with the knife. I don't know who's behind it all. I thought that was rock bottom. It wasn't. A few nights after finding out about Alex's shady past, I decided to confront him in person. No more texts. No more hiding. I knew he usually played a Thursday set at this small dive on the edge of Pilsen. I showed up early, sat at the back. I didn't even know what I was going to say, just needed to see him face to face, to look him in the eye and make sense of the mess. But he never showed. Instead, a woman walked in right before the set was supposed to start. Late 20s, wearing a worn-out leather jacket and jeans with holes in the knees. She scanned the room, saw me, and walked straight over. No hesitation. "You're her, right?" she said. I nodded slowly. My stomach dropped. "I'm his sister," she said, sitting across from me before I could say anything. "And you need to leave him alone." That confused me. Everything I'd read said Alex had no family in town. I asked her straight up, "Why are you really here?" She leaned in close. "Alex isn't his real name. It's Jamie. And he's on parole." I blinked. "Parole for what?" She hesitated, like she didn't want to say it out loud in public. Then finally, she whispered, "Fraud. Identity theft. Assault." That last one knocked the air out of me. "He uses bars like yours. Finds women, strings them along, bleeds them dry, or uses them to hide. Then when he's close to being caught, he ghosts. But he's slipping. Someone's following him now. You got caught in the crossfire. I stared at her, trying to figure out if she was for real. Everything she said lined up with what I'd started piecing together. But then she pulled out her phone and showed me an old news article, his mugshot. Different name, but the face was unmistakable. That same face that had been taped to my fridge. He's got enemies, she said. People he owes. If I were you, I'd forget about him. For your own good. And then she got up and left. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I kept checking the locks, peeking through the blinds. My phone buzzed once around 2:30 a.m. No number. Just a text. You weren't supposed to dig. I dropped the phone. The next morning, I called the cops, not to report anything specific, just to ask about Alex or Jamie or whoever he really was. They gave me the runaround. Told me there were no active warrants under that name. Nothing they could do without more evidence. I checked my email again, just out of habit. That's when I saw another message from Mark. No words, just a picture. It was of a man lying on the floor of what looked like a motel room. Passed out? Unconscious? I couldn't tell. But the face, it was Alex. And next to him, on the bedside table, was a thick wad of cash and a hotel keycard with my initials scratched into it with a pen. No explanation. No signature. Just the photo. That's when I realized something horrifying. Mark didn't just find out I cheated. He investigated. Tracked Alex down. Maybe hired someone. Maybe did something. But he wasn't just the hurt husband anymore. He was pulling strings I couldn't see. Quiet. Calculated. Dangerous. Then it clicked. The note on the fridge? The Polaroid? That wasn't just revenge. That was a warning. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder. Was this really about me at all? Or did Mark already know who Alex was before I ever did? What if I was bait? I tried calling him again. Nothing. But I left a voicemail this time. Please, I said. If you're trying to protect me, or if something's going on I don't understand, just call me. I'm scared. Still no reply. But an hour later, I got another text. Check under the sink. That's it. No number. No name. My hands were trembling as I opened the cabinet under the kitchen sink. Tucked behind the cleaning supplies was a small black notebook. It was Mark's. I recognized the handwriting immediately. Inside were pages of notes. Names. Dates. Addresses. Pictures printed and taped in. All of Alex's movements. His gigs. His women. His scams. Notes like, March 4th followed him from Red Room Bar. Picked up blonde, mid-30s. April 12th, withdrew $800 from joint account. Possible laundering. April 22nd, overheard him mention deal at Midway. He'd been tracking Alex for weeks. Maybe months. The last page just said, he doesn't pick them by accident. My blood went cold. Because then I started to wonder, why me? Why had Alex picked me? Was it random? Or had he been sent? And then came the biggest question of all. Who is really the villain here? Because I'm starting to think, maybe it wasn't just my marriage that got ruined. Maybe I stepped into something way bigger than an affair. And now, I don't know how to get out. I was gripping that notebook like it might explode. My head was spinning. I couldn't tell anymore if I was the one who'd been manipulated, or if I was just waking up to how deep this whole thing really went. I texted Mark. One word. Why? He didn't reply. So I did the only thing I could think of. I called Rita. She picked up on the third ring, said nothing at first. I didn't waste time. You left me that note. You know something. Tell me now, or I swear to God, I tried to warn you, she cut in. I tried, but you didn't want to listen. What is this? Why does Mark have a notebook full of stuff on Alex? Why was Alex even near me to begin with? There was a long silence. Then, Rita sighed. Because Mark knew Alex before you did. They have history. Bad history. I froze. She continued. Years ago, when Mark was fresh out of college, he got scammed. Lost everything. It was a big mess. Legal stuff, loans, personal savings. Took him years to recover. The guy who did it? Same guy you called Alex. Different name then. Same face. My throat went dry. He recognized him the second he saw the Polaroid, she said. Someone else saw you too that night. Snapped the photo. Sent it to Mark. He went quiet for a day. Then he started watching him. Following him. Collecting everything. He wasn't mad at you at first. Not really. He just saw an opportunity. I whispered, to get revenge. She didn't say yes. But she didn't say no either. That night, I waited for Mark at the old pier by Montrose Harbor. It was our spot. Back when things were good. I didn't know if he'd show. But he did. He walked up like nothing was wrong. Hands in pockets. Calm. That was the most terrifying part, how calm he was. I found your notebook, I said. He didn't flinch. You used me, I said. You let me walk right into it. No, he said. You did that part on your own. I felt like someone punched me. So this was about him. Not us. Mark looked out at the lake. It became about both. But yeah, at first, it was always about him. I stepped forward. You could have told me. You could have warned me. He finally looked at me then. Eyes tired. Hard. And you could have not cheated, he said. Silence. I was crying now, even though I didn't want to. He didn't move. Do you still love me? I asked. I don't know, he said. I loved who you were. Before all this. But now I'm not sure who you are. Or who I am around you. It hurt more than I expected. I wanted to scream, argue, beg. But instead, I just whispered, I'm sorry. He nodded, but it was like he didn't believe me. Or maybe he didn't care. Then I asked the question I'd been avoiding. What did you do to him? Mark blinked. Nothing permanent. I wasn't sure if that meant more or less than it sounded. And then he walked away. The next morning, Alex, or Jamie, was on the news. Arrested. Fraud charges. A whole list of victims had come forward. Somehow, someone had dropped a package of evidence to the police. Anonymous tip. I didn't have to ask. I knew it was Mark. Back at work, Rita gave me a look that said everything. She didn't say I told you so. She just poured me a glass of water and walked away. The fallout came fast. Mark filed for divorce. Clean. Efficient. Like everything he did. We didn't fight. We didn't cry. It was like two ghosts signing papers. People at the bar talked, of course. A few whispers. Some judgment. A lot of silence. One night, a woman I barely knew leaned over the bar and said, "He must have really loved you." To go that far. I didn't respond. Because I wasn't sure if it was love or something darker. Now it's been a few weeks. I'm still trying to make sense of it all. The cheating. The betrayal. The revenge. The lies. The fact that I might have been a pawn in someone else's long game, or maybe just the final domino in a story I never even knew existed. I lost my marriage, my self-respect, my sense of safety. But weirdly, there's relief in the wreckage. No more hiding, no more pretending, just the raw truth, sitting in my lap like a broken plate I can finally throw out. Do I regret what I did? Absolutely. But I also see now, this wasn't just about a one-night mistake. It was about how far gone we both were before it ever happened. Mark isn't the man I thought I married. And maybe I'm not the woman he thought I was. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not the affair. Not the revenge. But how long we pretended we were still in love. I'm not sure where I go from here. But at least now, I'm not lying to myself. Maybe that's something.